Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 33 of Pop Icon the Podcast. I'm your host, David, a digital media graduate of Gulf Coast State College. Oh, part graduate. I got my AA. Oh my god. That's like crazy. And we're definitely going to talk about it, but it's going to be after our introduction. So, welcome to Pop Icon the Podcast, episode 33. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm your host, David, host of Pop Icon Radio, live on the Alternation Radio, Mondays through Fridays, from 8 to 9 in the morning, where we talk pop culture and we play pop music. We are here talking the good, the bad, and the iconic pop culture news of the week. But I guess before we get into all of our pop culture news for the week of April 26th through May 3rd, we can talk a little bit about graduation. So it was this past Friday, May 3rd, and it was amazing. I had a great time. And there was like an air show going on above it, which was really cool too. So like every time we were like outside, there were like huge planes like going right over us, doing these like crazy tricks. So that was pretty wild. I had graduation at 2 o'clock. I thought it was at 10 initially, but turns out it was at 2. And I was awarded my AS in digital media. And I think I'm going to be continuing to finish out the bachelor's program, probably just, 1 or 2 classes at a time. But, slow and steady wins the race sometimes. And I'm just happy to be on the other side of it. It was a long day. It really was a long day. It was like, it started early because I thought that the ceremony was early. And so whenever that didn't exactly pan out, I got to hang out with my mom though. So it was a great day. The two of us hanging together. We got breakfast. My brother came for breakfast. He couldn't come for the actual graduation because he could have come in the morning if it was during the morning, but I told him the wrong time, so sorry about that, Jake. Don't be mad at me. But the three of us had a great time, and then I went to dinner with my mom and stepdad afterwards, and it was an even better time. And then I went home afterwards, and I crashed, because if you know me, like if you know me in real life, then the past 2 weeks have been a struggle for me. I've been super sick, just getting over a flu or cold or something, and then also I was turning in all of my last minute assignments that I had kind of, lagged on during the semester. So it was nice to finally get everything turned in, complete the portfolio, all of it. It felt great. It feels nice to have, and I'm excited to continue working on it. And so we'll see how it goes. I think I'm going to continue the show for the summer, so I don't know. I'm gonna go talk to Dr. G, I think, this upcoming week, and Marissa as well. And so be sure to keep your ears and your eyes tuned to the Alternation Radio to check out Pop Icon Radio, Monday through Fridays from 8 to 9 in the morning. So we'll get into the pop culture news, I guess, of the week. Why not? It's about that time, right? So let's jump into the box office top 10 of the week. So we have got the box office for the top 10 of the week for the weekend of April 26th to the 28th. We have got number 10. We have got Boy Kills World, 1.7 million. That's got, I think, a Skarsgård in the front. I don't know. Number 9, we've got Dune Part 2, 2 million. Number 8, we've got Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, 3.3 million. At number 7, we've got Kung Fu Panda 4 with 3.6 million. At number 6, we've got The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I'm like, what is that? 3.8 million. Number 5, Abigail, 5.2 million, which is... I'm taking a day this next week now that classes are over and I have a little bit of time to breathe. I'm going to go see Abigail one day. I'm going to go see the Civil War movie one day and maybe our number 1 flick this week. So number 4, we have got Civil War with 6.9 million. At number 3, we have got Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, 7.2 million. At number 2, we have got Unsung Hero, 7.7 million. And I'm like, what is Unsung Hero? I don't know. It looks really emotional. Number 1, we have got Challengers, the Zendaya starring tennis flick, pulled in 15 million for a total gross of $24 million. That is amazing. I'm so happy to check that out. That is the number 1 flick that I was talking about. It wasn't Unsung Heroes. It was Challengers. I'm going to go see Challengers, Civil War, Abigail. And I really wanted to go see Late Night with the Devil, but I think it's out of movie theaters. So probably just have to check that one out on whichever streaming platform it comes out on. So we've got that little bit of movie news going on this week. We have got our Billboard Hot 100 top 10 for the week of May 4th, 2024. And y'all, it's crazy. Do you want me to get into it? So, number 10, we have got Guilty as Sin, question mark, Taylor Swift. At number 9, we've got Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, Taylor Swift. At number 8, we've got Florida, Taylor Swift featuring Florence and the Machine. Number 7, we've got But Daddy, I Love Him, Taylor Swift. At number 6, we have got, I think it's or that was number 7. Number 6 is My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, Taylor Swift. And number 5, So Long London, Taylor Swift. Number 4, we've got the Tortured Poets Department, Taylor Swift. At number 3, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, Taylor Swift. At number 2, Down Bad, Taylor Swift. And at number 1, for the first week, I guess, and I'm sure it's going to be one of many, Fortnite, Taylor Swift featuring Post Malone. Oh my gosh. She really did it, didn't she? She took over the top 10, and a lot of people are mad. I'm not one of those people. Do you know how I feel about Taylor Swift? Do you want to know how I feel about Taylor Swift? I'm about to tell you. Taylor Swift is like, she's very non-offensive. She's just like a singer. She puts out music, and it's good. I'm sorry, but you can't listen to like Who's Afraid of Little Old Me and like not love that song. It's like very, I don't know. Maybe it's cringe, like very millennial. I don't care. But you know what? I know it's not, because the hostesses at my job, they love it. They're like, we're tortured poets. I'm like, you are tortured poets, and so am I. We all are. Everybody really is, if you think about it. But like, some people just don't want to like claim that. I don't know. I listened to the Florida song, and I'm like, oh god, that's gonna be awful. She like talks about Destin in it. Like, I don't want to hear this. And then I don't know. It's just like a Taylor Swift song, like any other Taylor Swift song. So it was kind of good. I don't know, but the titles are cringy. I'm sorry. Down Bad. Like, what is going on there? I don't know. But then some of them are fun. Like My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. Like, there's a lot of meaning there. There's just too much meaning for some people to get and understand. And I'm not here to make them understand. But I'm here to congratulate Taylor Swift on having the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100 top 10 of the week. So that's great. We'll get into some more pop culture news after that. We'll get into the good pop culture news of the week. Boy, do we have some fun stuff to talk about. But before that, we can talk about the stuff that we normally talk about, which is the pop icon, pop culture history of the day. So I'm filming this Sunday, May 5th, Cinco de Drinko. So we're going to be talking about some good pop culture news that came out May 5th in the past. So May 5th, 2022, we have got Spider-Man being released in theaters and becoming the fastest movie ever to earn more than $100 million at the box office, raking in $114 million that weekend. So that is like crazy. That was like one of the first movies to pull in $100 million at the box office. I feel it's like every Marvel movie now at this point. Could you imagine if a Marvel movie only made $114 million at the box office? That would be crazy. Actually, I think that's like a possibility. I think that Captain Marvel and like some of the others this past year made like 27 million. So that's like awful for them. But I mean, it's kind of good for Spider-Man, right? That was like the start of something new. And we really we changed as like a culture because of the Spider-Man movies, right? It's like X-Men Spider-Man. They really gave birth to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as it is, which is like the biggest thing ever, at least biggest franchise ever to talk about. So we'll get into the good pop culture news of the week. We've got a lot to talk about. We have got the Exorcism movie starring Russell Crowe. We've got some Deadpool news coming out. We've got something about her opening up. We have got... not only is it opening up, we have the actual date it opens up, and it's this month. That's crazy. We've got some Madison Beer news, and then we've also got Emma Roberts is collaborating with Kim Kardashian and Netflix to put out a television series. You guys are going to want to hear all about it. So without further ado, let's jump right into the pop culture news of the week. So we can start the show off like we normally do, and we'll get into the good pop culture news of the week. And to start things off, we have got Netflix acquiring Calabasas from Kim Kardashian, Emma Roberts, and Pretty Little Liars creator Marlene King. So Netflix has acquired the rights to Calabasas. Variety has confirmed, based on the 2021 book, If You Lived Here, You'd Be Famous by Now. The upcoming series follows a 16-year-old sheltered Catholic schoolgirl who's thrown into unfamiliar territory when she transfers to Calabasas High. King is set to write the series adaptation and serve as the showrunner. So that's exciting. It's like, I guess, like a new age kind of Beverly Hills 90210. I don't know. It looks fun to me. It has all of the right ingredients. It's got Emma Roberts, it's got Kim Kardashian, and it's got the creator of Pretty Little Liars. I don't know. I started watching Pretty Little Liars Original Sin, which actually dropped last night, I guess, or yesterday on Max. And that show is like, it's like a horror show. I don't know. I don't like love it. It's like weird kind of. It all focuses around Bailey Madison's character, Imogen. I she's kind of fucking annoying. I don't know. But I think my cousin worked on casting that show, so I guess you have to support that. So that's interesting. I guess we'll see where Calabasas goes. What do you guys think? Will it be like the new like 90210 like Gossip Girl type show, Pretty Little Liars? It might be, but also at the same time, I feel like nothing on Netflix is like super interesting anymore. So we'll see about that. We've got some more pop culture news. We have got Madison Beer. You guys know her, right? Obviously, you know Madison Beer. She's one of the faces of Pop Icon Radio and Pop Icon the podcast, like on the official artwork. So Madison Beer has dropped her newest video for Make You Mine, and it is like, it's referencing Jennifer's Body, starring Megan Fox. And guess who commented on it and said, niece, Megan Fox. So, I mean, that's kind of like iconic to have Megan Fox say that you're her niece. Because, I mean, whenever people say niece, they're meaning like somebody who's like obviously like a younger version of them. And I don't know if she's saying that Madison Beer is that girl. I'm like, this has been like a conversation that I've had with people over the past couple of weeks. Like, Madison Beer, like, I love your music, but like, you really should be an actress because you're putting your like pretty privilege to waste. I don't know. But then also some people are like, maybe that's why she's doing it. I'm like, why don't you just be like beautiful in the movies and be like a star? She can be. She totally can be. And if she wants to be like the biggest like woman in the world, maybe just get like a reality television show like Ariana Madix, who is from Vanderpump Rules, and she's got like a lot going on right now. We just ended this latest season of Vanderpump Rules. The finale happened, and she came out on top, unfortunately, because she kind of irritated me this season. I don't know. Am I falling into like what the producers wanted, or did I see exactly like just what was going on my screen? Because I've been watching. There's like this new fan of like Vanderpump Rules, not this new fan, this new like type of fan of Vanderpump Rules who started watching during seasons like 7 and 8 when these people were like on their like aspirational tip, and they think that the show is something that it's not. So like, I've been like having to like go back and forth with people on Twitter for like the past like week, being like, this is just like not what the show is. They're like, this show needs to be about Ariana and Katie and like them being bosses. And I'm like, that's literally not what Vanderpump Rules is. Vanderpump Rules is about Lisa Vanderpump, who is their boss, and like they're like her like messy servers. Like, if you're not a messy server, get off the fucking show. So I don't know. Somebody needs to step up and take their place because none of them actually work at that restaurant. I don't know. We've got good news, I guess, involving them though. The reunion's gonna be coming up this coming Wednesday, and then also their sandwich shop, Ariana and Katie's sandwich shop, something about her, should be opening up May 22nd apparently. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. I don't actually know if it will or not. But it might. There's like all this drama because of the chef from there. She apparently like, she took out like the trademark on the name, something about her, and she's saying that she wants to be a partner, and like they don't want her to be a partner. So it's just like, it's super duper messy, and I don't know, like, whose side are you on? Are you on the chef who you feel like she should be part of the restaurant, or you feel like, are you on the side of the two girls who like own the restaurant? I don't know. We've got some more news. We've got some some good pop culture news. We've got the Office reboot series details like being announced. Have you guys heard? So the new Office series picked up at Peacock. Its first plot details were revealed. A newspaper setting, like a Midwestern newspaper setting. So The new iteration of The Office has been picked up to series at Peacock. As previously reported, the show is not a reboot or a spinoff of The Office, but rather a new mockumentary show with a new cast set in the same universe. For the first time since the show was revealed to be in the works in late 2023, plot details are now available. So the official logline goes as follows. The documentary crew that immortalized Dunder Mifflin's Scranton branch is in search of a new subject when they discover a dying historic Midwestern newspaper and the publisher trying to revive it with volunteer reporters. I'm like, okay, that should be kind of interesting, right? I don't know. It was previously reported that Domhnall Gleeson, Domhnall, I don't know, Brendan Gleeson's his dad, and Sabrina, I don't know, how do you pronounce her last name? Impacatore, who she obviously everybody knows her. She was the manager in the second season of The White Lotus. Like, she's the one who called Jennifer Coolidge's character Peppa Pig. So that's kind of funny. It's been more than 10 years since the final episode of The Office aired on NBC. So I'm curious to see like where this is going to go, if this is really going to be like a big deal or not. I don't know. What do you think? Do you guys think that The Office reboot is going to be like the biggest thing ever? Or do you think it's just going to like fall to the wayside kind of? I don't know. I guess in some final news, we've got some Real Housewives news I can talk about. We've got the Real Housewives of New York City filming their upcoming 15th season, and pictures have been coming out about what the crew has been getting into, and it looks like we've got Erin hosting a tequila like announcement party for her new mezcalum tequila. We have got Jessel, I think, has had a birthday party that is like Clueless themed. Sai is dressed up as Dion, and like Jenna Lyons is dressed as like the dad. It's just like kind of funny. We've also got, what else is going on right now? We haven't heard any new drama lately, but we do know that we've got two possible new apples. One is Rebecca Minkoff, who's like a famous like designer, I guess. I don't know. There's like a lot of controversy whenever it comes to her. And then there's also another woman who I believe is going to be who is friends with Jenna Lyons. So that's interesting. We'll see how it goes with these ladies in their upcoming 15th season. Bravo actually went ahead yesterday and announced that they renewed pretty much their entire slate of shows. The only show I didn't see renewed on there was like Vanderpump Rules, and I'm like, that's crazy, because Vanderpump Rules was just said to have the highest streamed like Bravo television show on Peacock ever this season. So I mean, obviously they're doing great, but there's like talk that it could possibly be in the process of being rebooted with like a new younger cast, which is kind of what I was asking for earlier in the show. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's gonna be our pop culture news of the week. We'll get into some bad pop culture news because there's like a lot of really sad and scary things going on. Unfortunately, more than the good right now. So we'll get right into that. So we can get into the bad pop culture news of the week of today. Well, not really today, because something weird kind of happened, guys. I had to take a little bit of a break from doing the podcast. So the first 10 minutes of this podcast were filmed on May 5th, and now they're being filmed on May 10th. So we're just going to continue saying the pop culture news from May 5th, and then we'll pretend like this didn't even happen. So we've got the pop icon pop culture history of today, May 5th, 1994. We have American teenager Michael P. Fay being caned in Singapore for theft and vandalism. So that's like crazy. Do you know who Michael P. Fay is? I literally had no idea who that was. So Michael P. Fay, apparently, P. Fay? Why do they keep on calling him P. Fay? Michael Fay was arrested for stealing road signs and vandalizing over 18 cars over a 10-day period in September of 1993, and he pled guilty, and then I guess he got caned. What does caning mean? I guess they hate you like 3 times? I don't know. Like, I'm like looking it up right now. I'm like, what is the caning? Okay, so here it is. So he said he was bent over a trestle, so his buttocks stuck out with his hands and feet buckled to the structure. He was naked except for a protective rubber pad fixed to his back. The flogger, a doctor, prison officials were also present. Faye told routers the caner walked sharply forward 3 steps to build power. They go, count 1. You hear them yell it really loud, and a few seconds later, they come, I guess, I would call it charging at you with a rattan cane. I don't know. He noted that a prison officer or he noted that a prison officer guided him through the ordeal, saying, "Okay, Michael, 3 left. Okay, Michael, 2 left. Okay, 1 more. You're almost done." Faye reported that when the 4th stroke was delivered, he was immediately unbuckled from the trestle and taken to a cell to recover. The caning, which Faye estimated took 1 minute, left a few streaks of blood running across his buttocks, and 7 weeks later left 3 dark brown scar patches on his right buttocks and 4 lines, each about half an inch wide, on his left buttocks. He said that the wounds hurt for the first 5 days, in which they itched. After they healed, the first couple days was very hard to sit. Oh my god. Faye reported, but he said he was able to walk after the caning. So yeah, that's like crazy. He got spanked for doing something bad, I guess. We were talking about this like topic at work the other day. And like, I guess I just missed it. Like right before my time was whenever they were like whipping kids. They were paddling him, I think it's called. I don't know. Like my boss said that he like got paddled a couple times. I'm like, oh my god, keep your hands off of him. But I don't know. That's like crazy to think about. Like in a different country, I'm like, that's all they did. Like you better be fucking lucky. So we can get into the bad pop culture news of the week. Of today. So we have got the tragic final days of Britain's heaviest man, who spent $22,000 on Chinese takeaway. So Britain's heaviest man has sadly died just days from celebrating his 34th birthday. It was revealed this week. So Jason Holton tragically died at the age of 33 with his mom by his side after suffering from organ failure. He made headlines in 2020 after he had to be taken from his flat to a hotel, or to a hospital. Oh, that's like awful, dude. I feel bad about that. He was really big. Following his death, his devastated mother, Lisa, 55, said, "He probably had about 8 lives, and I thought the doctors would be able to save him again, but sadly, it wasn't possible." So apparently he weighed 50 stone, and he inherited the title of the UK's heaviest man from Carl Thompson, who also died at the age of 33 back in 2015. So apparently, like, that's like the age that you pass away whenever you're like big. Carl weighed 65 stone whenever he died, after the death of his mother caused his eating to spiral out of control, eventually causing him to lose his life. Oh my god. Oh, that's really sad. He was already 30 stone whenever his mom died of a brain tumor in 2012. In an attempt to deal with his grief, he turned to junk food. He was never able to recover from her loss, and he more than doubled his weight before his untimely death. How much is 65 stones? That's like, I mean, that's gotta be a lot. If he was 50 stones. So, whoa. You want to know how much 65 stones is? It's 910 pounds. 911 pounds he was at the time of his death. So that's wild. How do you get that big? Like, I mean, I guess, but in 2012 to 2023, that's 11 years. He gained like almost 500 pounds in 11 years. That is so wild. I don't want to talk about it anymore because this is like actually making me like really sad thinking about that. Hopefully they had good lives. Let's talk about like some scary pop culture news with Alec Baldwin. So apparently Alec Baldwin seemingly slaps a person's phone away after being harassed in a coffee shop. The person was trying to get Baldwin to say "Free Palestine." I'm like, what? What do you mean? Why are they trying to get him to say "Free Palestine"? Like, why him of all people? He's like a crazy guy. He shot and killed somebody on the set of Rust. He killed Helena Hutchins, I think her name was. I mean, he didn't do it on purpose. It wasn't his fault. And the woman whose fault it really was, I guess she got in jail earlier. We talked about it on Pop Icon a couple of weeks ago, I think. But that's like crazy. And this person's like harassing him in like the store. They're like, "Why did you kill that lady? You killed that lady. You got no jail time. No jail time, Alec. You're putting innocent people in jail, Alec." Wait, what is she talking about putting innocent people in jail? I think that it was kind of her fault. I don't know. It was a lot of people's fault, and it was like a tragedy at the same time. And she like starts yelling at him "Free Palestine," which is also like, whoa. Like, you're going, why are you asking him of all people? Is he Jewish? I don't know. That's like weird. So, what do you guys think about that? Should Alec Baldwin be harassed in public whenever he's like trying to get like Starbucks? Is that where he was at? I think he was at like a Starbucks. So that was going on. Have you guys seen, I don't know. I'm one of the few people on TikTok, or like who like I feel like keeps up with pop culture. Have you guys seen that like and like keep up with like social media and stuff? Have you seen like the sad like straight guy TikToks that have been like going around? It's like just like a normal day of a guy. He just gets up and like he gets dressed, he goes to the gym, he takes his dog for a walk, and he eats like dinner. And people are like, this is like the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, it looks pretty peaceful to me. I don't know. It's it's kind of funny because it's like performative because it's like they don't even show like their girlfriends that they have or like their wives and stuff like that. They just make it seem like they're just like sad single straight guys, and they put this like sad music behind it. I might post it on Pop Icon Radio. You guys check it out if you guys are interested. But like it's been going around on social media over the past like couple of like weeks, and I was curious to know if anybody even like heard about it or if it was just me and like I'm just too chronically online to like deal with it. So we can move on past that. We've got Kendrick Lamar versus Drake versus The Weeknd. Like what the fuck is going on? So Drake and Kendrick Lamar are feuding, but it wasn't always this way, because you know they've collaborated on songs in the past. Like, what's the beef, guys? So I guess in one of the biggest beefs in recent hip hop history, Drake and Kendrick Lamar are feuding to the point that police were asked about their feud after a security guard was shot outside of Drake's mansion. Oh my god, that is crazy. But it wasn't. This isn't how they've always been. They've been friends in the past. Like they've been on tour together. Like what happened? Who knows? And let's see. What is the beef here? Because I feel like, okay, let's take it to March 22nd. March 22nd, Lamar disses Drake on Future and Metro Boomin's Like That Song. Wasn't that the number one song on the Billboard Hot 100 last week? I don't know, maybe. He goes, the big three, Lamar raps, referencing J. Cole's boast, it's just big me. Okay, cool. He references Drake's 2023 album For All the Dogs and also compares himself to Prince and Drake to Michael Jackson, saying Prince outlived Michael Jack. Okay. Okay. So Drake response leaks called Push Up on April 13th, saying you ain't in a big three. SZA got you wiped down. Travis got you wiped down. Savage got you wiped down. I'm like, what does wiped down mean? Wipe me down? I don't know. It's also assumed that he takes aim at Future, Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, Rick Ross, like everybody pretty much. He put out this other song called Tailor Made, which I didn't really think anything of until Kendrick Lamar put out another song called Euphoria. People are saying like this is where the beef got real, because he like comes after his parenting skills, he comes after his racial identity, he comes over his use of AI, his appearance. I mean, what else does he not come for? So the title referencing the HBO series Euphoria, which Drake is an executive producer. So then like May 3rd, Lamar drops a follow-up called 616 in LA. What does that even mean? I don't know. But he says, have you ever thought that OVO was working for me? Fake bullies, but I hate bullies. You must be a terrible person, and everyone inside your team is whispering that you deserve it. I'm like, oh my God. Shut up. We saw Drake hit back with Family Matters, and in Family Matters, he like gets crazy with it. Like he calls The Weeknd like a sissy little drug addict from the North. I don't know. That was like wild whenever he said that. He alleges abuse and infidelity in Lamar's relationship. I'm like, whoa, what's going on there, guys? So then May 4th, Lamar responds with Meet the Grams. Almost immediately afterwards, which is what the funny part was, Lamar released Meet the Grams, which begins with a rapper addressing Drake's son, saying, I'm sorry that man is your father. He also addresses Drake's parents and a baby girl, alleging that Drake has a secret daughter. I'm like, what? This is also where it gets crazy, because he also labels Drake a predator. So I'm like, oh my God, what's going on there? So May 4th, Lamar drops another song called Not Like Us. Going, say Drake, I hear you like I'm young. We better never ever go sell block one. I'm like, what does that mean? May 5th, Drake softens his blows on The Heart Part 6. So referencing Lamar's The Heart series, Drake drops The Heart Part 6, challenging his allegations, doubling down on his own. So we'll see how it goes. The two of them just keep going back and forth, and it's kind of settled down over the past couple of days, but I'm sure it's gonna ramp back up at any point because I'm sure they've got albums to release and they've got money to make, right? So like that's craziness going on right now. And other like rap beef news, it's not really rap beef actually. You guys know Jim Jones, right? We Fly High guy. So apparently he got into like a big ass fight at the airport and like fought two like random like other guys, like, and it was all caught on tape, which is the best part. And TMZ had the footage. His wild airport Royal Rumble was crazy. He like throws this one guy like down the stairs. His head's like bleeding. It's crazy. He grabs him like by the back of his collar and the back of his pants and just like yoinks. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would be so embarrassed if Jim Jones was throwing me around like that. But I was also like not get involved with him like that. So who knows? Who knows what will happen? Well, actually, we do know what will happen. He's not charged in the airport brawl, saying that he was defending himself. It was called self-defense. Have you ever heard of it? So yeah, that's great. Congrats to Jim Jones for being able to beat that charge. We've got another really crazy thing that happened here in Florida, kind of locally, not really locally. I knew this, like one of the hostesses that used to work for me. I saw she was like here in Solfest, and so like the name caught my eye whenever it came across in like the news. So apparently, a man high on drugs bites a chunk out of a deputy's head at Florida EDM Music Festival. And it's disgusting. So a Florida deputy is recovering after he says a man bit into his head and tried to steal his gun during an EDM music and arts festival in the Panhandle. So there was at Vortex Springs where that's crazy. That's where my brother crashed his like car at. That was like a wild day to go pick him up and his friends. I was like, Jake, how could you do that? But I mean, thank God he was safe. Anyway, so investigators say Anderson, a Vortex Springs volunteer, was under the influence of drugs including PCP, LSD, ketamine, mushrooms at the time. They said that during the assault, Anderson tried to grab the deputy's gun and bit a chunk out of his head. And I saw the picture, y'all. It was disgusting. Oh my gosh, how could you do that to somebody who's like putting the uniform on? That's crazy. So they were both taken to the hospital for treatment. I like see this man. His name is James Anderson. He looks like a big ass bear. And I'm like, that like reminds me of like the social media conversation that's been going on over the past couple of days. Like, women, if you were stuck in the woods, would you prefer to be with a man or a bear? And that also is so funny because like, I don't know, it's like God is like pointing me to like talk about this, I guess. Like, what is going on? Okay, how do you feel about it? Me personally, as a man, I would rather have another man in the woods so I could like, I think the implication is like, one of them is going to hurt you. Which would you rather it be? And like women say they'd rather the bear. And I'm like, I would much rather be the man because I could fight back against a man. I could never fight back against a bear. And the women, we had this like thought at work. The women at work were like, I'd much rather the man or much rather the bear because I at least have a chance with the bear. I'm like, what does that mean? That's crazy that you would say that. I was like, what if it's like me and that's like, I guess that's where my thinking is at, is like, what if I'm the man? You don't have anything to worry about with me, like. But I guess like whenever you say the man, you're like talking about like, I don't know, like the worst type of man. But like that's like not said before it, so I don't know. But like I also just watched a movie and it was called, oh my god, what the fuck was that movie called? It was called like An Incident at Brighton Rock or something, or like A Body at Brighton Rock, and it was like about like this woman who is like a park ranger and she goes into the woods and like she sees a dead body, and the dead body like is a man, and like another man comes along and she's like scared of the man. She sends him on his way, but then later on in the movie, like apparently the man is like running after her, it looks like, but then you realize at the end he wasn't running after her. He was running to tell her that there's a bear, and like she like kicked him off the ledge. But then it gets like supernatural also, so I'm gonna like leave that to you guys to check out if you want to. But it was like really crazy. I don't know. It's like what I think it's on Max. Yeah, I think I watched it on Max. So that's like wild. Solfest, y'all gotta like do better there. You would think at a festival called Solfest, like it'd be like chill. So that's like a little bit of bag pop culture news. In our final news of the week, we can talk about, have you guys heard about the death of Mica Miller? So the pastor's wife, Mica Miller, she apparently killed herself. And the weird thing about this is her husband like went to, he's like a pastor. He went to the church and he's like on video saying like, my wife like killed herself just like recently. And, you know, I don't want you guys to talk about it. We're just going to move past this. Like, I don't know. There's like craziness going on. She was apparently 30 whenever she passed away. He was 44. Apparently people say that he was like grooming her. I don't know. I don't know anything about the relationship, but I'm sure more and more is going to be coming out about this. It just like, it sounds really rough. Apparently police are saying that it was a suicide, even though people are saying that they think it was him. Weeks before her passing though, she shared a video speaking about abuse within marriage, as she claimed she was being harassed and she felt afraid for her life, saying, "Today my heart's a little heavy. I've had lots of women that have reached out to me about situations of abuse, and I just want to let a lot of people have told me lately, but I think I forgot. But you are the bride of Christ before you're anyone else's, male or female. It doesn't matter what gender you are. Abuse is abuse." Which I'm like, oh. So then just 12 days after that, she was found dead. So I'm like, they need to check him out because something's going on with him. Something is going on with that guy. He seems like odd to me. I like just looking at the picture. That's awful. I guess she had like contacted officers to tell them that like her husband was sharing indecent photos of herself in a Facebook group called Big Boobs, Nice Curves. I'm like, what is going on there? That's like crazy. So we'll see how it goes. I feel bad for that woman, and I don't know if anything's really gonna happen with that guy, but I feel like they should like check him out because it's getting weird, you know? So we'll get into some iconic pop culture news after this. So we can start the iconic pop culture news with the pop icon pop culture history news of today, May 5th. So we're taking it back to 1961, where Navy Commander I can't even say his name. Alan Bartlett Shepard Jr. was launched into space aboard the Freedom 7 space capsule, the first American astronaut to travel into space. So I mean, that's literally iconic. That's the definition of iconic, being the first person in space, first American in space. Congratulations to Alan Bartlett Shepard Jr. because that is no easy feat. I mean, you're like, what are you thinking in 1961? You're like, I'm going to space. And like, literally nobody's been before you. That's like wild to me. But you know what? It's also iconic. So that's great. We can jump into some iconic news of the week. We can talk into the iconic Netflix series Baby Reindeer. I know earlier in the show I said that Netflix wasn't iconic anymore, but you know what? Sometimes it is. And whenever it puts out shows like Baby Reindeer, that's whenever like I'm hearing more and more about it. So we've got Baby Reindeer, which stars, what's his name? Richard Gadd as Donnie Dunn, a struggling comedian and bartender that is stalked by a woman named Martha. The pair first crossed paths when Donnie served the woman a free cup of tea at the bar that he worked at. That one act of kindness changes Donnie's life forever. For the next 3 years, Martha stalks him. She sends him 41,000 emails and hundreds of hours worth of voice messages, but it's not your conventional stalker storyline. The first episode of Baby Reindeer has been watched by more than 3 million people over the past 2 weeks. That's crazy. I might need to check it out. Maybe you guys check it out and we'll all check it out together. So that's wild news. We've got the iconic pop culture news in that Real Housewives of New Jersey is like premiering its latest season, and there's just like so much going on screen. It's like Teresa Giudice is of course the star, and she's having to like fight with people that like that have no legitimate issue with her or like fighting with her. So this season now we've got Jane Fuda, as Carlos King calls him, and we've got Rachel Fuda, his wife, who's on the show. Who, what has she done on the show? She's literally like not. I don't know anything about this woman other than she got a bad nose job. That was her storyline the first season that she was on, that she had a bad nose job. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. She's like pretty, I think, but like, we come to find out like during that season that her husband like was a former drug dealer, I guess, and like we learned that his like he went by a different name in high school, and he changed his name to Fuda because that was like a more prestigious like New Jersey type name, I guess. I don't know. I kind of like, I've just found him to be like super corny. He's putting like press releases and stuff now, and like he came really hard at the last reunion. He's like going off on people, screaming. And I'm like, why are you yelling? Like, you're a side character. You're a tertiary character. Play your role. But apparently he's trying to come for the queen, Teresa. And Teresa, like, ate him up. She, like, yelled at him. She's like, hey, double-sided dildo. Apparently there's a rumor that he, like, used, I don't know. It's like Stan Twitter like makes up really crazy things sometimes, and then like people will like just run with it. So that's like really wild going on there. There's also like Stan Twitter is causing like all this beef, saying that saying that Teresa and Jennifer Aiden, like all of their fans have like turned against them on social media because they're not getting like the credit that they feel like they want from her. I don't know, like they want to be paid now, I guess. And so we've got like Melissa's old nose, who I had an interesting little interaction with them a couple months ago on Twitter, and they actually blocked me because I told them, you're being weird here. What's going on? They like went to like a restaurant like where like Melissa or Margaret or somebody was, and was like taking pictures of them in the background and like talking about it. And I was like, dude, like I get it. I don't like them either, but like to be so blatant about it, and like I don't know, it was like very weird. And like after that, they kind of like, I could tell that there was like a difference like in all of them, like because I think that that's whenever things started to like go bad with them, because I think that Teresa thought that they were going like way too hard. I think Jennifer thought they were going like way too hard and tried to like step away, and like they got upset about it, and they were like, we're releasing everything, we're releasing every text message, and everything that they release is like nothing burger. It's like, oh, you're doing the same shit that every single person on the show does. Or Margaret's like tagline on the show is like, I don't take shots, I take screenshots. It's like that's all she does. She takes screenshots, she sends them to the bloggers. Like it's like too much. So the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa's out there in like California doing press for it. That's amazing. The others are like, I think sitting at their house. I don't know what they're doing. So that's crazy. We've got some more pop culture news. We've got Crystal Lake being retooled. You guys know Crystal Lake, right? So the Friday the 13th television series is moving forward. It is moving forward. People said that they were pulling the plug on it. They're not pulling the plug on it. It is moving forward. So that's iconic. They're just like losing Brian Fuller, apparently, saying that it is being retooled. So apparently it's going to be going forward just without Brian Fuller at the helm. Jeff Snyder at the In Snyder revealed that A24 and Brian Fuller parted ways this past week. So that's, I don't know. I posted on there on Twitter, I was like, why? Why are we doing a prequel series to Friday the 13th? Is that interesting? No. We want to do like the after that. Like everything has happened. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We've got some more pop culture news. We've got the whole Challengers. We can talk about Challengers finally because I actually saw it. Challengers film, the whole press tour with Zendaya. Have you guys seen it? So Challengers is a 2024 American romantic sports drama film that is directed by Luca Guadagnino, who is adapting a screenplay that was done by Justin Currix, I think is how it's pronounced. His wife did Past Lives, my friend Stacey told me. I was like, okay, that's interesting. Like both of them are probably going to be nominated this year too for like an Oscar or something. So this film stars a professional tennis champion whose plot comeback with the help of his wife Zendaya, a former tennis prodigy who retired after an injury, as he goes up against another player. And his wife's former lover and his former best friend. It's like so crazy. So we have Mike Feist and Josh O'Connor, and it was like not as wild as I thought it was going to be. Like they kissed at one point, and it wasn't like anything like insanely wild. It's like we already saw that pretty much in the trailer. But it was, I think it was a good movie. If you guys are into like scandalousness, definitely check out Challengers. So that's like iconic. Her press tour, like her outfits, they slayed. They were all tennis themed, and I think that that's going to be important going forward. Is like the marketing department just needs to sit down with the stars and be like, let's collab a little bit. So that's amazing. We have got Paris and Nicole also in some exciting news. We have got them reuniting for a new reality series 17 years after The Simple Life ended. So they duo, which became household names on the reality series, ran from 2003 to 2007, are returning to their roots, kind of. What type of reality show? Why don't they get a Bravo television show? Just about the two of them, Bill and Sil. So I guess Nicole Richie she sparked rumors of a potential reunion after she posted a picture with it saying "Day One, Sil and Bill," which Hilton reposted on her story saying "Sana sa," which was like their dance. They would always like go around each other going "Sana sa, Sana sa." Me and my brother would do it. It was so funny. So we'll see if it comes out, because we know the big drama between the two of them is that there was beef years ago. Apparently Nicole played Paris a sex tape at a party. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but they became longtime enemies after that. And they finally made up, but I don't know. You know how reality shows are. They like to dig up the dirt, and so it can get really nasty sometimes. So we've got that little bit of pop culture news going on. We've also got a little bit more news going on with James Gunn. I almost said Henry Cavill. James Gunn unveiling David Cornsweat's new entire Superman costume in a picture that some are saying is lackluster. So James Gunn posts this picture of David Cornsweat as Superman, and he's sitting down putting his boots on while something alien goes on in the background, and I'm like, okay, it's not the worst picture I've ever seen, but it doesn't really tell me anything about what's going to be happening in the film. Maybe that's what we need to know, is that he's taking his time to put his boots on. He's going to go knock that out real quick before it hurts anybody. So I don't know, are you guys interested to see the new Superman? We've talked about it a couple of times on Pop Icon, and the cast is kind of interesting. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We've got some more interesting news. Have you heard of the Megalopolis movie? Or is that how it's pronounced? Megalopolis? So it's Sofia Coppola's newest film that is going to be coming out. Or no, it's not. It's not Sofia Coppola. It's Francis Ford Coppola. And it's got Adam Driver as the star, I guess. And there was a little bit of the trailer released, and it's just Adam Driver above this town, and apparently he can stop time. I don't know. I'm bitch, you are not fucking Piper from Charm, bitch. Calm it down a notch. You're not Eva Bell from the X-Men comics. Take it down a notch, bro. But I digress. I'm kind of interested in that because I heard some really interesting news. So apparently the rumor is that the upcoming Coppola film Megalopolis, am I even pronouncing that right? Is it Megalopolis? I don't know. It has a scene that requires audience participation in the form of a theater employee standing in front of the screen and speaking specific lines, interacting with the movie. I'm whoa, that's really interesting. I want to see that. I want that job, kind of. I want to get up there and I want to say, fuck you, Adam Driver. No, I don't want to say that. I want to be yes sir, absolutely, I'm on it. And it's and release the water or something. I don't know. So that's really wild. We've got a little bit of Housewives news to talk about here. Bethany Frankel is going to be in a Lifetime movie, y'all. What is going on there? I don't get it. She's just the busiest woman in the world, but she has time to star in a Lifetime movie. So she's starring in the Lifetime movie Danger in the Dorm, and it is about a complicated mother-daughter relationship under extreme circumstances. I guess she joined the film back in February 20th of 2024. And I'm curious to see. She's the star of the poster, and I'm is she gonna be the star? Is she gonna have just a couple of minutes in the film? I don't know. I'm curious to see about that. We also have Lisa Rinna in Mean Mom. Have you guys heard of Mean Mom? I don't get it. It's called Mommy Meanest. Where Lisa Rinna is attacking her daughter. And I'm what is going on here? So the movie is premiering tomorrow, actually. Oh my God, I need to watch that. So Lisa Rinna has a terrifying secret in the upcoming film, Mommy Meanest. The film, inspired by real life events, chronicles a teenage girl who is cyberbullied, only to discover the culprit behind the horrific text is actually her very own mother. And I'm oh my God, what if that was my life? I'm it's wild. Your mother's bullying you. My mother wouldn't bully me, hopefully. Cyber, at least she would just say it to my face. So that's funny. That little bit of pop culture news is always good to hear. These women and Lifetime, I gotta check it out. Last bit that we can talk about, the Met Gala was the other night, and Zendaya, I guess, hosted it, and she looked great. And did anybody stand out? I don't think so. I think Lana Del Rey looked good. Nobody else really. So I'm not really gonna talk about it that much because they really don't deserve that much to be talked about. Like, none of the looks were like serving. Doja Cat was there in like a towel. It was just like oiled up. I'm like, girl, take it down a notch. So yeah, I think we can actually end the show this week. I think we got more than enough coverage here on this podcast about the comings and goings of this week. We will be, I'm thinking about changing the day of the podcast to Wednesdays. So if the show comes out next week on Wednesdays, we'll see how it goes. Oh shit. I guess two bit of pop culture news came out while I was like recording this, and one, Derek Hemsley and PK from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills are breaking up. That's so sad. They're taking some time apart. That's some sad news. I could have put that in pop culture sad news. And in some good pop culture news or iconic pop culture news, we've got Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber announcing that they are pregnant, going to be having their first kid. So congratulations to the two of them. I know they've had like a long relationship, and I feel like did I say that like she was gonna get pregnant in the predictions for next year? I'm gonna listen to that episode from last year, the 2023 wrap up. I like made some predictions on what was gonna be happening this year, and I think Hailey Bieber being pregnant was one of them. So we'll see if we can knock that off. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys already don't, be sure to check out Pop Icon Radio on Instagram at Pop Icon Radio. Throw me a follow on there if you can. I would really appreciate it. And if you guys are listening to the podcast, give me a 5-star review if you would like. Not 4-star, not 3-star, not 2-star, definitely not 1-star. And maybe a handwritten review. That'd be awesome. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you next week. But have a good one. Bye.